Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. The shirt says so you know it's true. No, that was like YouTube personality right there, right? That was, hey, welcome to YouTube. I'm sorry. Let's just get into it here today. Do inherited IRAs require minimum distributions? You know, when you retire, 70 and a half, they just bumped it up to 72, and now they've screwed the whole thing up again. They're going to go all the way up to 75. It's a whole mess. But anyways, if you haven't turned 70 yet, when you retire and you have a traditional IRA, just the traditional, the SEP IRA, pre-tax IRAs, you have to start taking the money out, at least a minimum amount, and it's set by your life expectancy. There's a table. It's confusing as all get out, but you have to take a required minimum distribution. Well, what happens if your uncle passes away and he leaves you an IRA? You know that the Secure Act changed things here. It used to be that you would just follow a distribution schedule as well for the rest of your life. Not so much. The Secure Act now says you have 10 years to take that money out. And here's the thing. We've been telling clients, okay, you got 10 years. You don't have to do anything the first couple of years if you don't want to. You can take the money out later or a couple of years or buy a house or something. You know, you don't have to do that. Well, now there's a little bit of confusion. See, nowhere did it say in the Secure Act that there would be RMDs required each year when you inherit an IRA. Well, the IRS released this publication. It was like 590B or something like that. I read through the whole thing, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's a little pocket in there, about page 11, page 10, I forget now. But so there's a little pocket in there that says you have to take RMDs by giving an example. It doesn't tell you have to take RMDs. It gives an example where it says, you know, so-and-so died, they left you an IRA, and you're trying to figure out how to calculate your RMDs. Well, you go to the table, you check this thing, you find out, you take the number, and you divide it by 21, and your RMD is $4,000, whatever it is. So it was showing you how to take an RMD in an account in a 10-year IRA where they never said you had to take RMDs. Well, this has advisors, this has accountants, everybody's all up in the air now. What does this mean? Do we have to take RMDs? So here, I'm going to pull it up actually. So what happens is now 2020 didn't have RMDs. You know that, right? So there was no big deal there. We didn't have anything to worry about, right? So we didn't have to take an RMD in 2020, whether you were, you know, retired or whatever it is, or even if you inherited an IRA. But now there's an example. I swear, not 300 words apart from each other, there is where it tells you to take an RMD and then when it tells you not to. So the IRS on May 13th, actually, it just came out. They got a lot of pushback from accountants and advisors and everybody. So they come out with this thing that says the Secure Act says that we've included requirement minimum distributions in an example that we gave. The example has been updated to the following. Your brother dies at age 2020 and age 74. You're the designated beneficiary of your brother's traditional IRA. You are 65 years old in 2021, which is the year following your brother's death. You use Table 1 and see that your life expectancy is 21 years from now. If the IRA was worth $100,000 at the end of 2020, your RMD would be factored by doing 100,000 divided by 21, which comes out to 4762. But they never, you're not supposed to take you didn't say we had to take an RMD in a 10-year stretch. So, or 10-year inherited IRA. So they're revising their publication that confused everybody by confusing people even more. So what do? Well, the good news is you just filed your taxes for 2020. You don't have to take any money out. They waived it, right? So there's this whole confusing process now of how you figure out what to do years forward. But in 2021, we're going to need more guidance because they're saying in one example that you would take the RMD, but they don't tell you that you have to. So what do you do for now? Nothing. Don't do anything. You have plenty of time. No need to be concerned or get all nervous. But also, I think the example was just if you wanted to, not because you have to. There is nowhere that says you have to. So the best advice I can get, you would recognize the name of the company, largest accounting firm on the planet, basically. And they said, no, we're not doing anything yet. The IRS would have to explicitly state that you do have to take an RMD from an inherited IRA that is like a non-spouse or something like that. Confusing, right? the heck is going on here? Well, there's a lot of changes, and sadly, there's a whole lot more changes coming that confuse the devil out of even me, and I like reading this stuff. So more to come on this. I'll keep you updated. I always keep everybody updated if I can. So you now know where you stand, kind of. But that's what's going on out there, so expect to see another video in the future. You want to get help for this kind of thing, because one of the things that, if you miss your RMD, it's a 50% penalty, right? That's a big deal. Well, they're going to change that. And by the way, let me give you an extra thing. If you stuck around this long, if you get assessed a 50% penalty for not taking an RMD, almost never do you pay that, right? And I don't give advice here, so you know that. The IRS will waive it, right? You just know how to go about it. But if you ever get assessed a 50% penalty because you didn't take an RMD, don't you dare pay that 50% penalty. They will not force you to pay it. You can ask them to waive it, even if you do it multiple times, by the way. Little tricks of the trade. Anyways, they're going to lower it to 20, and then they're going to somehow change it to 10. There's all kinds of things coming down the pipeline. I'm watching every bit of it. That's what I do for our clients here at Jazz Wealth. I just like to do it. It's part of my job, and I find it fascinating myself. I'm always looking for little tips and tricks and things like that. So you enjoy. I hope that helped you in some way. Maybe hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified when we do the update video for you there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Come back at 5 o'clock today. We're doing the closing beat right here, just like that. That's our studio back there for the closing beat. We'll see you then. Enjoy.